Today is January 1st, 2021, and I am really excited about this upcoming year. Last year, 2020, was a really different year for most people. There was a lot of uncertainty in the markets, whether it was the stock market or whether it was the real estate market, but we managed to get through it. And so why am I so excited about this upcoming year? Because I'm planning on growing a lot in 2021. I know that there's been a lot of investors on YouTube that have predicted a housing crash in 2021 or 2022. And so I'm going to talk to you about 3 things to keep in mind in order to protect yourself against any market crashes that may come up either this year or next year. My name is Shiloh Lundahl, and you are watching the Improved channel focused on real estate investing. So in 2020, a lot of people had to adjust their goals because of the pandemic that came. It was something that was pretty much unforeseen a lot in the United States, and we just kind of had to figure out how to work through the pandemic. And I give my condolences to anyone who's either struggled with the virus or has had loved ones who have struggled or have passed away because of the virus. And so I feel a lot of sadness for them. And at the same time, as we piece our lives back together and move forward, I do want to talk about the idea of goal setting and the reason why I'm really excited about real estate this year. Our goals for 2021 are to increase our portfolio by about 100 properties. And this is how we plan to do it. We're taking one of our mobile home parks that we have in Florence, Arizona, and we're going to convert that park into a tiny house village. I've talked about this on another video that I'll link in the notes below. And also we're looking at building a 21-unit small apartment complex. Those 2 goals are really going to kind of push us outside of our comfort zone as we learn how to do some new things in real estate. So those things really excite us. Additionally, we're looking at buying another 25 properties in the Triad area of North Carolina, and we're probably going to pick up another 15 to 25 properties here in Arizona. So putting all of those together, we're looking at increasing our portfolio by about 100 properties. I told you that I was going to talk to you about 3 things to do in order to lessen your risk as you invest in this year and next year in real estate. So when the pandemic happened last year, we were really nervous because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. So we looked at our cash position and we realized, you know what? If everybody were to stop paying rent and move out of all of our units, then we would only be able to survive about 2 months with the money that we had on hand. And I felt really nervous about that. Starting in April and May, I started working with my bankers and trying to figure out ways to refinance some of our properties and be able to pull out some of that equity so that we could put it in our accounts so that in case anything were to happen, we would be able to last several months with the reserves that we had on hand. So we worked really hard at building up about 6 months of an emergency fund in each of our businesses. So in case everything were to go really bad, we could last about 6 months and still be okay. That's one of the things I'm going to encourage you to do investing in real estate this year and next year. Make sure that you have an emergency fund or sufficient reserves to last for a while in case anything happens in the real estate market. With real estate, one of the ways to lose money is being forced to sell one of your properties when you're not ready to sell. So in order to avoid that, make sure you have enough money in reserves in order to not put yourself in a position where you have to sell. Additionally, when it comes to the properties that we're looking at buying this year, we're going to keep 3 things in mind. 1, we're going to make sure that each property that we buy under market value. Our business model is to buy properties that after we repair them, the total cost that we have into the property is about 75% of the ARV or after repair value. The reason that that's so important is because at that point, we're able to get loans on the properties and a lot of times suck the majority of the money that we've put into the property back out. Also, if the market were to fall 25%, we wouldn't be underwater at that point. But if the real estate market were to fall 30 or 40%, it's true, we would be underwater, just like the majority of everybody else who has real estate right now. However, one of the reasons that we would be okay with that is that not only do we buy properties well under market value, but we make sure that we buy properties that cash flow. And the reason that we make sure that we buy properties that cash flow is because if there were a large market downturn, we can hold on to all of our properties. And as we hold on to all of our properties, the market is eventually going to go back up, just like it did in 2009, 10, 11, and 12. So one, make sure that the properties that you buy, that you're buying well under market value. Two, make sure that each of the properties that you purchase cash flow. If you're going to keep a hold of any of these properties, you want to make sure that they cash flow. You don't want to speculate and say, hey, I'm going to hold on to this for a while because eventually it will cash flow. Or, hey, I'm going to hold on to this and hopefully appreciation is going to take care of all of my mistakes. You don't want to do that. Investing in a market like today, it should be a no-brainer. Each of the properties that you purchase, you should know I'm purchasing it under market value and this property is going to cash flow. And then third, I like to buy properties that are below the medium price point. And the reason that I like to buy properties at that price range is because there's the highest demand for those properties and it is the easiest to sell those properties. So moving forward in 2021, we have a game plan as to how we're going to buy 100 properties and which properties we're going to buy and how we're going to buy them under market value and make sure they cash flow and buy them just below that medium price point in order to increase the demand for those properties. So I hope that this video gave you a couple of pointers to help calm maybe some of that nervousness or some of that fear about investing this year or next year, because I think it's going to be a great opportunity over the next couple of years to really build a great real estate portfolio. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'd also love it if you guys would comment below and maybe share some of the goals that you have this year and tell us what you're doing in order to lessen some of that risk as you invest in real estate this year. So thanks so much for watching and have a fantastic year in 2021.